Hi guys. Okay, today I'm going to show you something that I think is pretty interesting. You ready? Watch this. 6 divided by 3/4 is 8. Okay, not that interesting so far, but check this out. 6 times 4/3 is also 8. Now, I want you to answer 2 questions in a minute after you pause the video. What do you notice about what I just did? And what do you wonder? Pause the video and answer those 2 questions. What do you notice? And what do you wonder? Okay, so I'm hoping that you noticed that these 2 problems are very similar. They both start with 6, and here's where they first have a difference. The first one is a division problem, and the second one is a multiplication problem. And here's what else I hope you noticed. The first one has the fraction 3/4, but the second one has the fraction 4/3, which is just the fraction 3/4 flipped upside down. These 2 fractions, 3/4 and 4/3, are called reciprocals of each other. 2 fractions are reciprocals if you can get one by flipping the other one upside down. I hope you also noticed that the answers to these problems are the same. 6 divided by 3/4 has the same answer as 6 times 4/3. I hope you wondered, does this always work? Well, let's find out by doing a few more examples. Let's try 7 divided by 2/3, 10.5, and now 7 times 3/2, 10.5. I wonder if it works fraction divided by fraction. Let's find out. 5/6 divided by 2/7. 2 11/12. 5/6 times, what would be the fraction here? Pause the video and answer that question. If you said 7/2, you got it. Now, will this give the same answer? Yes. In fact, this always works. If you have a division problem, you can change it to a multiplication problem, so long as you take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now, why this works? Well, it's kind of complicated to understand, but we're going to look at one way you could try to understand it, even though there are many ways. To see that this works, we're going to look at another pretty cool fact. Consider the division problem 24 divided by 6. Okay, here's a very cool fact about division problems. We know that 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. Well, here's the really cool fact. If you take both of the numbers in a division problem and multiply them by the same number, you get a new division problem that has the same answer. Watch. Let's say we multiply both of these numbers by 2. Times 2 times 2. 24 times 2 is 48. And 6 times 2 is 12. And what happens if we divide 48 divided by 12? Guess what? We still get 4. We could do it again. Let's say we multiplied this by 3 and this by 3. 48 times 3, 120 plus 24, 144. And 12 times 3 is 36. Now this I can't do in my head, but we've got the trusty calculator. 144 divided by 36. Still 4. Even cooler, it works multiplying by fractions as well. So let's go back to the original 24 divided by 6, and now let's multiply both by 1/2. 24 times 1/2 is 12. And 6 times 1/2 is 3. 12 divided by 3, still 4. Last one. Watch this. We'll multiply 12 times 1/3 and 3 times 1/3. 12 times 1/3. Well, what's 1/3 of 12? Well, that's 4. And what's 1/3 of 3? Well, that's 1. 4 divided by 1, still 4. So using this cool fact, we're going to show in one step how multiplying by the reciprocal can work. So let's take a new one. Let's go back to the one we started with. 6 divided by 3/4. If we use this idea, let's try to get a simpler division problem. Watch this. What if I take 3/4 and I multiply it by 4/3? It'll take a little bit of thinking, but I think it's easy to see after thinking that this will be 1. I need to multiply 6 times 4/3 now. 6 times 4/3 is 24/3, or 8. And because of this idea over here, we know that this new division problem has the same answer as the first one, since we multiplied both by the same number. And we know that 8 divided by 1 is 8, so 6 divided by 3/4 is 8. But notice, 6 divided by 3/4 is 8. 6 times 4/3 is 8. And this works for any division problem. You could do the same process. So that's that. Today we learned that any division problem that divides by a fraction can be rewritten as a multiplication problem that multiplies by the reciprocal of that fraction. Have fun!